Today I bring you 4 image hacks to tell better visual stories on your presentations or on your website. And yes, it's backed by human behavior. Hi, I'm Anita. Welcome to Word Cortex. I'm a neuroscientist by training and a communicator at heart. And here on this channel, both of these worlds collide. So I bring you tips and tricks on how to communicate your ideas and stories. And it's often backed by research and science. So if that sounds interesting to you, you go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I'd love to see you in the next one. Yep, it's all in the eyes, people. The eye gaze, especially one that looks directly at your audience, has the power to capture their attention and hold on to it. But here's the problem. If you are presenting important information, say you are introducing your company or your product, or you're presenting your services on the slide, if you pick an image where the subject looks directly at your audience, you risk losing their attention. You'll often notice that the people look more at the image and less at you. No offense to you, but that's just human behavior. We tend to gravitate more towards eyes that look back at us. So here's the solution. If you find that you're presenting to inform important information to your audience, then pick an image where the subject makes a side gaze or is in some kind of motion. This way, you've put your message on the pedestal without losing your audience to those distracting eyes. So as promised, this tip is backed by research evidence. In one eye tracking study, 160 participants looked at 2 images. In one image, the subject, in this case a baby, made direct eye contact with them. And in the second image, the baby struck a side gaze. The data from the eye tracking showed that when the baby made direct eye contact with the participants, there was less attention on the accompanying text and there was more attention on the face, on the eyes, and on the baby itself. However, in the image where the baby made a side gaze, there was more attention on the text and on the brand. So this goes to show that by just picking an image where the eye contact is towards the text, you place more attention on the message itself. How cool is that? So this time we're going to pick the first hack and we're going to flip it to use the eyes to our advantage. If you are speaking to persuade, where you want to spark some action in your audience, you want them to buy a product or you want them to sign up as volunteers, you can actually use those eyes to your advantage. And let me explain. So let's say you want to save animals at a local zoo. By using an image where the animal makes direct eye contact with your audience, you build a relationship between the animal and your audience, and you're more likely to get donations or volunteer sign-ups. This works better than picking a generic image, for example. Because in this instance, the image is the message itself. The image no longer supplements or supports your message, it is a part of your message. So use those eyes to spark action in your audience. They actually use this on billboards, by the way. So if you're driving and you see a celebrity on a billboard, there's a high chance that they make direct eye contact with you so that you can buy that product. So if I had to summarize the first 2 hacks, I'd say if you're speaking to inform, where you want to put your message on the pedestal, you're better off picking an image with a side gaze. But if you're speaking to persuade, where you want your audience to take some form of action, then use those eyes to your advantage and build that relationship with your audience. Okay, so if you've picked an image with a side gaze, then I have another human trait to share with you. Our eyes follow the gaze. So if the subject looks to the right in your image, then text boxes need to appear on the right side of the slide instead of on the left side. Because this makes a more harmonious and natural flow of information for your audience. Let's look at an example. So when your audience sees this slide, the first thing they'll do is look at the face of the subject and then follow her gaze. In the left example, following her gaze would make them leave the slide. So it's a bit weird that the text appears on the left side. But flipping the text box to the right side gives a much more harmonious feel. They look at her face, they follow her gaze, and there's the text. And here's another example. By just changing where JFK looks on the slide, I create a much more harmonious feel for my audience. This concept also holds true for images where the subject is in motion, so athletes running, or birds flying, or cars moving. Place the text boxes or supporting elements along the direction of motion for a better visual story. So images don't have to always appear like islands on your slide with text boxes floating around it. If you have access to an HD image, and I hope that you do, then blow it up and make it full screen. Because tell me whether or not you smash that full screen button on your YouTube videos or on Netflix. Of course we do, because we love having the over-the-top visual big screen experience, right? So why not bring some of that to our presentations and to our websites? By using an image that bleeds off your slides, really big, it puts your audience into the scene of what you're going to speak about. So when you finally tell your story, they're already in the mood, waiting to listen to it. I hope you've enjoyed the 4 visual image hacks, and I hope it helps you design better slides and tell better visual stories. And with that, I will see you next time. Thank you.